So Omar just went his morning poo-poo, and the poo-poo didn't look anything like the pile of shit that I found on the floor when I came home from walking to the store to buy 2 gallons of water last night. This bed leaves a lot to be desired, but so much of my life leaves a lot to be desired, you know. Just have to be thankful for what you have. Anyway, it didn't look anything like that pile of crap, so it's possible, although not probable, that because it was such a large amount, if it wasn't a large amount, I'd say no. It was such a large amount, and granted, Omar has before gone, but it may have been it may not have been Omar. Omar's perfect record maybe was lost simply because, you know, if his dog couldn't hold it, I mean, just because he mostly holds it, you know, it may have not been Omar. It didn't look anything like the one this morning. Not that means anything, but sometimes it does mean something. But in any case, doesn't matter, since I don't know if it was Omar or not. His record ended yesterday at probably nearly a month this time, which is very, very good. And I'm going to go through and find out exactly, and then I'm going to highlight my calendar with my yellow highlighter like I used to do when I lived with my mama. And it's already nice out. I have to go back to bed. But it's already nice out at 7:30 in the morning. By nice, I mean, I don't mean it's like 100 degrees out or 80 or 50 or so. I don't know what it is out. I couldn't tell, but because in the morning, especially since I told you around here there are dogs that there's caca everywhere. And, you know, I just throw my boots on, especially when I was taking them out when it was still dark, you know. I'd rather step in caca in those boots than in my sneakers that I wear other places to the store and whatnot. But I put my winter coat on and my winter boots, and I have my stuff I slept in. I just changed out of that sweater though. Put this short sleeve top on because it is hot. And my sweat, these gray things. Pretty soon I won't even be able to do that though. When it's too warm out, I'll be throwing shorts on or something. I'm certainly no coat and going out with Homer, and I certainly won't be putting boots and a winter coat on. This morning I did, you know. But I can already tell that it's going to be nice out today. So I will definitely be power walking. And I will definitely try. My mom's social worker in the hospital. But I don't know if, like, Cheryl doesn't think until I talk to the social worker that I should talk to my mom, but it's not like I have to listen to everything Cheryl says. I'm debating whether to just call up the unit and not talk to my mother, but say, can you please, this is, I'm debating, you know, this is, you know, say who I am, and, say, you know, say, I don't know why they didn't give him that card. Said everything. I said what I wanted to say to Mom in that card, and it was short and sweet, but, you know, it would have got to her before Easter. Of course, you know, Cheryl's ever the, you know, we don't really know that my mom didn't get the card, and you know, my mom wasn't really not all together there, but at least they agreed to have a meeting. Last time they just canceled it. They said she wasn't up to it. And she was at least in her right frame of mind enough. They said in front of, do you want to see your daughter? And she said, oh yeah, I want to see my daughter. Do I have permission to talk to your daughter? Said the social worker. Oh yeah, you could talk to her. So she was at least well enough to say that. That's good news. That's why I said yesterday that was good news. But I was thinking of calling the hospital, her unit, now that I know it, and simply saying, this is so, I'm Laura, her daughter, give her name and say, will you just tell my mom that I love her? That way I'd still be keeping what Cheryl says, that I should talk to the social worker before I talk to my mother, so I know what I'm getting into or whatnot. But I can still, send my mother my love. I don't know. All I know is I'm not going to call till this afternoon, because Cheryl says, most of those types of people are very busy in the mornings, and you're better off calling in the afternoon, probably after lunchtime. But there's no way I can get up now. I only slept 4 hours. And I definitely want to go power walking today, no matter what. I have to check my Hotmail. I don't know. Remember, and most women, you shouldn't. So I don't, wash my hair every day, and I don't remember when's the last time I washed it. It wasn't that long ago. But you shouldn't, as a woman, you shouldn't wash your hair every day. I wash my hair usually once or twice a week, usually twice a week. There have been times in the past where I've only washed it once during the week, but it's not necessary or good. It strips the oils in your hair. I know there are women who do, but you shouldn't wash your hair every day. You definitely shouldn't. You go on the internet and read 50 zillion things that say you should not wash your hair every day, but people do what they want to do. Obviously I'm no exception, not even remotely. People do what they want to do. Right, Omar? Right, Chiquita Banana? I'm Chiquita Banana, here to reveal. That's his nickname. Not his only nickname, but it's one of them. What are your other nicknames? I don't remember. Chiquita Banana's a big one. I call him Boobaloo, but that's lately. I can call people Boobaloo. I don't know where I come up with these things. Tired. Too tired, actually, to do a test video and see if this is cutting my head off. I get sick of worrying about it. Sure, my video will be a little better if I don't cut part of my head off, but, fuck it. Fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. Right, Omar? Fuck it. Fuck it, fuck it, fuck it. So, quite some time ago, several years ago, when I was living in LA, as I've often happened with me, because it wasn't anything I sought out, because how could I seek it out? I wouldn't even know it existed. Often I stumble across things. I might be Googling something and something else pops up. Sometimes things just pop up because people want to let you know weird things going on in this life or whatnot, So I stumbled across this woman who was going around insisting that she was the reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe. So, of course, I had to check it out, because depending on how much you know about me, yeah, I've said it as a joke, in regards to myself, as a joke, yeah. Okay? But this woman's going around insisting she's the reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe. I had to check that out, okay? So I did. Went online, and as you can I'm sure you can imagine, people don't like you ordering them to believe you're the reincarnation of anybody. Most people don't even believe in reincarnation, for one thing. You know, so if you believe you're the reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe, you don't go around insisting that other people believe it too. But nevertheless, that's what Sherry Lee Laird, whatever, was doing. I found it highly amusing. But me being the person that I am and have always been, I decided to buy her book. See, so whether she's a huckster or, you know, she was regressed. I always thought it might be interesting to be regressed, if I was even capable of being regressed. But anyway, she was regressed. She found out she's the reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe, and now she's going to tell the whole world and insist that they believe it. I'm laughing because it's hysterical, okay? It's not hysterical that she believes that she's the reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe. She can believe whatever the fuck she wants. It's that she's going around insisting that everyone else believe it too. And meanwhile, most people on this planet don't even believe in reincarnation. But even for those of us who do believe in reincarnation, we are not going to automatically believe you're the reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe just because you insist that you are. Okay, period, end of discussion. And you can apply that to anything. If you believe you're the reincarnation of anybody, people are not automatically going to believe it just because you say it, or just because you have this famous doctor who regressed you and he insists also. Because as far as I'm concerned, they could have just been, con artists or whatnot. And the thing is, she wrote a book. And she's probably making a killing off the book because I'm one of the people who decided to go out and buy her book. You certainly can't get her book in the library. Or maybe, did I buy it? No, maybe I did get it. Did I get it in the library? I doubt her book was in the library. I'm sure I probably bought it. I bought it. This was quite some time ago. This was before I was homeless, penniless, and on welfare, and living off the good graces of Donald and Hope. Okay. This was, I believe, when I was still Donald's so-called girlfriend. I probably bought the book. Maybe I got it from the library. Maybe it was there. You never know. Sometimes the library has things. I get so many books, but sometimes the library has things you wouldn't expect. Because, and you can order it from another library. It might not be a mainstream thing that all the libraries have it, but you can order it pretty damn easily, and it comes. So I may have just ordered it. I may have got it from the library. Maybe I didn't buy it. Maybe I got it from the library. But that's neither here nor there. I read the damn book. If I bought it, then it's in my storage unit in LA right now. And if I didn't buy it, then, I got it from the library. But either way, I read it. And I kind of have a feeling I bought it. But in any case, I read it. Okay. Well, first things first, she doesn't have a schizophrenic mother. She doesn't even have a schizophrenic mother, let alone a schizophrenic mother who's been schizophrenic since she was a little girl. I can't remember if she came from an extremely, absolutely dysfunctional, horrifically dysfunctional childhood. I can't remember. I forget about that. And she had a daughter. Okay? So right there, at least two things, because I can't remember if the third thing applied to her. I'm far more similar to Marilyn than she could ever hope to be, Sherry Lee Laird, okay? And I would never go around insisting that I was Marilyn Monroe's reincarnation. Have I said it as a joke? Yeah, I'm going to admit it. It's right on my fucking website. It's a fucking joke, people. Okay? If you know me by now, you know that I don't believe in anything 100%, okay? But for Shirley Lard to be saying it, sure, she's blonde. A lot of women are blonde. Sure, she could say, oh, I'm like a Marilyn in so many ways. What kinds of ways? Oh, having to do with men and relationships and low self-esteem. Tons of women have problems with men and low self-esteem, okay? The two key things, Marilyn never had a kid. I've never had a kid. Marilyn's mother was schizophrenic from the time Marilyn was a little girl. Same applies to me, okay? But, who cares? Really, who the fuck cares? Let Shirley Lard believe whatever she wants. She wrote a book. I'm sure she sold a lot of copies, and she stirred up controversy. Because there are people on the internet saying, well, she does look like her a little bit. Yeah, so do I. In the body, so do other women, but who cares, seriously? Because I read her book, and she believes she's a reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe because she has memories of being the reincarnation of being Marilyn Monroe, okay? Did I go around saying I was Marilyn's reincarnation because I remembered Marilyn's life and being Marilyn? No. I said it as a joke because I could relate to her and because of the schizophrenic mother and the extremely dysfunctional background and, and the things where, Marilyn never had a kid and whatnot and, and other things. But who cares? Again, I always have to go back to who the fuck cares. Because one of the things Marion used to say to my mother was, your daughter's crazy. She believes she's the reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe. And my mom looked at Marion, so what? A lot of people do. She didn't mean a lot of people believe I'm the reincarnation. She meant a lot of people believe they're the reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe. See, my mom can be sick and whatnot, but she also can be pretty damn just insightful or just like, fuck it, who the fuck cares? Like, who is Laura Harding believing that or not? And the thing is, I didn't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't believe anything. Okay? The closest phrase that comes to what the closest thing that I might believe about existence is something Joe said to me, and he didn't come up with it, okay? So this isn't something I came up with, and neither did he, but it is something that he relayed to me, that human beings, we are infinite consciousness sharing a human experience. Is that what I believe about reality? No, it comes closest to what I believe about reality. Because in the end, I don't know what I fucking believe about reality. I just know we're here, and I'm bored, and I'm lonely, and I'm horny, and I'm restless, and I want more excitement in my life, okay? And I just want it, I need it, because it doesn't matter why. Because I'm not normal. Okay? But no. I have always shared Marilyn's thing. She always feared that she was going to succumb to the mental illness that ran in her family. Now, if mental illness didn't run in Shirley Lard's family, and Shirley Lard had a daughter, and all this crap, then she's already, not as similar to Marilyn as me. I am. But I would never go around trying to, it's funny, ordering people. She's pissed off. She's pissed off. I've read her book, but you don't find out. The book, it's online. You go online. She's insisting she's Marilyn Monroe's reincarnation, and people don't believe it, so she's pissed off. I find that hysterical. Hysterical. Oh, and of course, you actually have to have been, to be Marilyn's reincarnation, you have to have been born after she died, and I was born after she died, and so was Shirley Lard, obviously, because you. You certainly could. I guess really crazy people could, but women could. But I guess even a man could, because according to reincarnation beliefs, you experience all kinds of bodies, and what you're a man, you're a woman, you're rich, you're poor, you're this, you're that, you're a king, you experience all kinds of. But lives, incarnations, whatever, but you can't. You'd have to be super crazy to insist you are somebody's reincarnation if you didn't exist after they died, you see. You had to have been born after they actually died, or how can you be their reincarnation? Right? I'm right? I don't know. Again, if you want to know, people who know me by now know that I don't know what I believe about anything. But what Joe said to me, like I said, I didn't come up with it, neither did he, is infinite consciousness sharing a human experience. I like that. Certainly like it a hell of a lot better than any of the rigid beliefs about, in regards that, that pertain to why we're here or reality or whatnot. Because you guys already know I don't believe any of that. Never have. Although I suppose it was forced down my throat when I was a kid, but so there might have been some point that I believed it, but obviously I questioned it enough that now I don't believe it at all. Not even remotely. Not even the teeniest little bit. But I do believe that all religions, that are the normal religions, whatever, they all have good and bad in them, and good things to say, and not so good things to say, and in the end, I believe we're supposed to just continuously search for the answers and try to find out why we're here. Remember the song I wrote when I was 15? Tell me it'll be okay, I don't have the answers to anything, though I wish I did. I wish I could open up my soul inside and give everything I have to give. Because the world needs a little help right now. It's not doing very good, and maybe I could help somehow if somebody only would. Then we go to the chorus, tell me to be okay. Tell me things are going to change because I'm so afraid. Never fit in or belonged anywhere in my entire fucking regrettable existence. Just as another aside, and don't ask me why I think about one thing and then another and another. Who knows why things pop into my mind? Everything pops into my mind. I want to, but I don't have time. That's the thing. Probably popped into my mind because I'm thinking about I have all this shit to do, and in regards to my internet shit and whatnot, and but I really, really wanted to read. I want to find out what happens with Anastasia and Christian. I read the first one. I read 50 Shades of Grey. I read half of the second, and I read it all. I read it in one night. So you'd think I'm not going to buy the books, and I don't have a library card around here, so that's probably. But I read 50 Shades of Grey, and I read half of 50 Shades Darker. So I need to find out what happens. So there's 3 books. I have 1.5 books left to read. They're coming out with a movie. I have a feeling that the movie's going to suck. And the reason I say that, I don't know. Maybe it won't suck, but I like the books, and I need to find out what happens. Because we want to find out why Christian is the way he is. Obviously he has some kind of horrific things happen to him when he was a kid or something. Something turned him into the way he was. And that's probably what you find out in 50 Shades Freed, and I'm not even through half of the second book. I got them from the library, and then I had to return them, and I didn't read them, I chose not to or whatnot. I was caught up in other shit. But I can read the damn book in one night. You know what I mean? It's not like it has to take over my life. But I'm not going to buy them. I'm not going to buy those books, so I'd have to get them from the library. And I have no idea where the library is in this town. I'm sure I could find it. And I've gotten mail here. As long as you have a piece of mail and your license, you're golden and you can get a library card. Because I'm pretty far away from where I was before. I don't think that this library system is connected with where I was before. I think I'd need a new kind of library card. Because you know, you get one library card in one city, and anything in the network you can go. But I think I'm far away from where I was before, that this is going to be a new network and I'll need a new library card. But library cards are free, and then I could get those books and not have to pay for them. Because I take breaks to watch a movie. It doesn't take me that long to read a book when I really want to read it. I'm really into it. It's not difficult reading. You know, when we're talking about the stupid, I told you I'm minored in philosophy. I've read really hard books in my life for outside reading and whatnot. And yeah, those take some really thinking about, and they're a lot harder to read, so they take longer to read. But something like 50 Shades of Grey, God, I can read that like that. And I did. I was so into it, I read it in one night. And then I guess because it was a novelty, and I really enjoyed 50, and I didn't like the second book as much, so I didn't feel compelled to read it, and I was doing other stuff, so. But now I think I would like to read it. I have no idea where the library is around here. But then again, I can walk for hours, so it might not be that far away from this house, a couple miles maybe. I don't know. That was just a little aside of mine. I know they're coming out with a movie. And again, it's one of those things that just, it popped up probably when I was looking for something else or whatnot, or probably because I was just seeing what people had to say about the book, and then somebody said, you know, they're coming out with a movie. And now I recently saw something where the movie might be coming out soon. I don't know. Will I go see the movie? Yeah, sure, why not? Why not? I kind of would like to read the 3 books before I see the movie, though. Because I definitely really enjoyed the first book. I even created videos about that, and they're not on private. I think they even say in the title, 50 Shades of Grey. I don't know. I don't remember, to tell you the truth. I just always create videos and more videos and more videos, but I do want to finish that. The last 1.5. I need to read half of. But because I'm starting over, I probably would just read it. I probably would start over. So I need to read the next 2 books. I probably would just start from the beginning of the second book, and I did read half because I don't want to wait. Now it's been many months, so that's probably what I'll do. All I need is a piece of mail, and I already have a piece of mail. I got stuff from Social Security sent here. You always have to let Social Security know your address or you don't get your benefits. Most of the time I'm not sending you anything, but if they send you anything for whatever reason and it comes back to them, they will cancel your benefits. So I've already gotten mail here from Social Security, then I certainly can't bring a box with me, because my other mail that's at the address, my new address has been stuff I've ordered online. That's all you need, though. Proof that mail has come to your address and a valid license that's not expired. Valid, state license. I believe you have to have a license. I don't know. You might only have to have a valid license, not a license in this particular state, because a lot of people just keep their license when they move. If it's not expired, they keep it from another state. I think the big thing is you have to have mail that came to your address, but you might have to have actually a license that's in this state too, but I have both, so we're good. The shelter address is on my license. I don't like that too much, but I don't dislike it enough that I'm going to go out and make an effort to go and get a new license for no reason, But it's not like anybody knows what that is either, but me personally, I would rather not have the shelter address be on my license. Almost already fallen back to sleep. Only way I'd ever have a chance in hell of recording him while he's dreaming and yipping like that, because I've tried before when I've heard him when he's on the bed and I'm in my computer and he's sleeping over here. But then by the time I get over here, he wakes up. Will be right now, and I don't mean right now specifically, I mean any time that I'm recording a long video and I'm awake and Omar falls asleep, then I could probably record him, but he doesn't always dream, so it's really a crapshoot. It's really a crapshoot, people. Poor old woman had to watch her little dog watch out the window in horror while her little dog's being dragged away by a coyote who'd hopped the fence. A big fence, too. It was no match for the coyote. That's sad. Another thing I watched on the news was this Down syndrome kid who, he wrote a book of poems, and it's called The Upside of Downs. It's cute. They interviewed him, and they read his poem, I Love You, Mom, and it was very deep, very insightful, obviously he's not writing poetry like T.S. Eliot or Sylvia Plath or Wordsworth or whatnot, or William Blake or, any of those. But for who he is, I only heard the one poem, and it was sweet, it was nice. It was more advanced than, roses are red, violets are blue, And it's nice that, he has Down syndrome, and he likes himself, and he doesn't mind being different, and now he's selling this book on it doesn't exist in regular. He's selling it as an ebook online. And, as I've said, everybody People love to express themselves. Everyone expresses themselves in a different way, you know. Everyone has different strengths, different weaknesses, different talents. That's what makes us human. It'd be so boring if we were all the same. And that's why it makes me ill. People, you know, like Marion, who wanna, you know, if anybody wants to crush someone else's dream or fantasies or whatnot, you know. Even if you believe somebody can't possibly achieve their dreams or what they feel, so what? Why do you have to crush them down? You know? Just let people dream, let people fantasize, let people just be. As long as they're not hurting you. Let people do what they want. Of course, people can't do that. A lot of people, I'm not saying, I'm not going to lump everyone, you know, but because they're petty and they're jealous and they just want to put everybody down and everything, you know. Imagine how fucking boring the world would be if we were all the same. Or if there weren't any people who think about all the people that rise above the mundane and become the entertainers. Imagine how boring our world would be, our existence would be, if there weren't people like that. Sure, you can wish if you don't have any kind of, if you can't be that, and you don't have the talent to speak of whatnot, you can wish that you were like that, you know. But if you're never going to be like that, you can at least be grateful that other people are, because think how boring the world would be if we were all alike. And there weren't people, you know, writers and actors and musicians and ball players and all this crap, you know, and painters. And our world would be fucking so boring if we're all alike. And if we didn't have those exceptional people who could entertain us, you know, so we could get out of our boring reality for a while and have some entertainment, have some excitement. And if somebody's not your cup of tea, so what? There's still somebody else's cup of tea, you know. I told you I liked Nickelback songs, but I go online and there are tons and tons and tons of people who can't stand Nickelback songs, you know. Just like there's a million people who love Justin Bieber, and I don't particularly care for Justin Bieber, okay, but he's just a kid, you know, he's not. Plus he doesn't write his own stuff anyway, he just sings. I'm just trying to make a point, you know, live and let live, you know. Because it could be so much worse. It could be so much worse. It's our individuality that, you know, makes us human and makes us not just clones, and, you know, it makes life interesting. But as you guys already know about me, I've never been comfortable in my own skin. But that's because I've been surrounded by people who have made me feel uncomfortable in my own skin, see? Had that not been the case, things might have been very different for me. But that was the case, so, you know how that goes. It's alright. As Kelly Clarkson sang, but did not write, you know, what doesn't kill me makes me stronger. And David Cook was one of the rare exceptions who writes this. see how I segue from one thing to the other? Because I was actually thinking about David Cook the other night when I was watching The Voice, because I never imagined he would win, because he was rock, and rock usually doesn't win on American Idol, and I liked him so much. Oh my God. Besides the fact that I thought he was just a hottie, I knew he was in a band. I knew he didn't just sing. He wasn't just a fantastic singer. Although I loved his singing, he wrote his own fucking crap. And it's good, because I later bought his CD, you know. I don't know. And it says David Cook. I don't know if I think he just writes his own stuff, but I stood up and cheered when he won. See, I had no interest in some of the winners, like what's her face, Taylor. Who's the one? I don't know. But when David Cook won, oh my God, I stood up and cheered. I'm not kidding. I stood up and cheered when David Cook won. I was so excited for him. I liked him. Now again, we don't know. I mean, I don't know what kind of person he is. I know on American Idol, now, could it have been a facade? Sure. But I'm going to hope that it wasn't. He was so humble on American Idol. He was just so down to earth and so humble. And I just adored him. I adored David Cook. And I stood up and cheered when he won. I couldn't believe it, because his kind of musicians, the singers like him, just had never won on American Idol, okay? And I'd watched it every fucking year, okay? So for him to win was mind-blowing to me, mind-blowing. And I just adored him, and I was so glad he won. And he went on to become very successful. Very successful. I'm so happy for him. I'm happy for him because I liked him, you know. I liked him because he was into my kind of music, you know. He was a rocker, you know. Not that there hadn't been rockers before. There was, you know, Chris Daltrey and Bo Bice, and they also, you know, they went on to find success as well. But David Cook was just, I cheered for him when he won. I liked him all along. I liked his personality. I liked his humble manner. I cheered. I helplessly got up and like, oh my God. Of course, this was when I was still with Donald, I believe. I believe it was. Yeah, because I don't think I was watching American Idol during those 2.5 years that I was back there, I think. I don't know. Whenever it was. Maybe it was when Donald and I were broken up, but I think it was when Donald and I were still together. I cheered for David Cook. I was like, oh my God, he won. Oh my God, I can't believe it. So happy for him. Ecstatic for him. And that was because I liked him, period, you know. I liked him, and he was the underdog, not because of lack of talent, just because his kind of music, his kind of rock, they don't win American Idol. They might get pretty far up in the top 10 or whatever, but they don't win. And they had never won, you know. I certainly didn't cheer when, what's his name, Taylor Hook or whoever, when they won. I didn't cheer when Ruben Studdard won. I didn't cheer when any of them won. But I cheered when David Cook won. Oh, I got up and I cheered. Of course, since I don't watch American Idol anymore, but I've been watching The Voice, it's gonna... See, this is what I mean about interconnected. This is why I label these particular videos where I'm sitting here and tired at night or in the early morning. Alicia's sleepy musings or whatnot, because seemingly unrelated, but they all relate, they all connect, because I'm watching The Voice. Only fucking reason I'm watching The Voice. Only reason. Remember, The Voice is on Monday and Tuesday, and last time The Voice conflicted with The Biggest Loser. Okay? I won't be watching The Biggest Loser, because even if The Voice ends and The Biggest Loser comes on, because it's his TV in his house, I might watch The Biggest Loser if he's not home. But I don't need to watch The Biggest Loser. But that's why, I'd never watched The Voice before, and he was watching it, and I decided to watch it, and then as things go, I got, alright. That's what reminded me of how I used to love American Idol. But after I watched it 9 seasons, enough's enough. Enough's enough. I'm not just going to watch American Idol forever. It might just go on forever and ever and ever, but I'm not watching it. I stopped. He said he never liked American Idol because he couldn't stand Simon. I'm like, yeah, I couldn't stand Simon either, but I still watched American Idol. And Hope loved American Idol. Yeah, I think, I don't know. I can look it up though. I can look it up later. I'll know later. I can find out exactly what season David Cook won American Idol. And I stood up and cheered for him. And I can find out what year it was and whether or not I was with Donald, whether I was still Donald's girlfriend, because after, I wasn't Donald's girlfriend after, November 4th, 2008, so if David Cook won before then it was when I was still with Donald. Otherwise, it was when Donald and I were broken up, but I was still living there, because I definitely watched it with them, Donald and his mama. When I take Omar out, I have to make sure I'm very vigilant about closing the door and making sure, because of course his dog wants to go out, he doesn't understand. I had to explain to him this morning, I'm sorry, but maybe I'll take you for a walk later, but I can't put you out now because the neighbors complain. I was telling him, because I was for a while just letting him be outside for hours when it was nice out, because that's what he wants. I was just trying to make him happy. But now I'm like telling him, sorry, can't put you out, neighbors complain. And I'm not going to put him out now, because I know my roommate gets up to go to work in the morning and puts him out. So if the poor dog can only be out at certain times, obviously I'm going to wait till later. I'm not going to put him out when I know he was just out recently to go. We want to, try to coincide it with when he might have to go to the bathroom, So, but if he had his druthers, he'd be out all goddamn day long, But that's not how it is. And so I told him, like, sorry, baby, you can't go out. And then last night when I was leaving to go to the store and buy water, God, Omar doesn't want me to leave, and Omar started to, almost got out, and I had to kick him back in. I don't think Omar would run away. I have to be careful, though. I can say I don't think Omar would run away, but if he saw an animal or a squirrel or something, you never know, he might. We just don't want that to happen. And that is why as I did with my mom when I was living with her. I mean, I joked with him about it, but I said, you know, I did the same thing with my mother. I stressed to her, your screen door doesn't close all the way. This dog is not, I don't want him getting out, period. I said, especially now with the summer, I told my roommate up front, I'm like, you have to be so careful because Omar will get out. He'll get between your legs. He's an escape artist. And I put the fear of death in my roommate, but nicely. I said, please, please be careful. And don't leave your front door open because your screen door doesn't close. And he's like, yeah, I should fix that. I'm thinking, yeah, you should. Will he? I thought he was going to put flea medicine on his dog, and he didn't do it. I don't know if he's fixed goddamn screen door. But he needs to remember to not leave that door open ever. Ever. Because Omar will get out, and I told him, I told him up front, my roommate, I said it firmly. I said, I'm very, very upset if Omar gets out. Okay? Even if we're bringing groceries in or whatever, we have to close that door because your fucking screen door, you know, I didn't say that, but, you know, it doesn't latch. Come on, fix it. Fix it, David. Obviously, that's not his name, but, you know, fix the goddamn screen door. Fix it simply because people are imperfect and you might forget. I might not be home. You might, because it's summer. In the summer, you might leave the door open like you did the other day. And I said, don't. Well, not the other day, you know, a month ago, whenever we had that warm, you know, he left it open. Probably because we were bringing groceries in or bringing whatever. And I said, you can't do that. You can't. Or maybe he went outside for something left. I think you can't do that. Omar will get out. Your screen door doesn't latch. And he's like, yeah, I should fix that. Yeah, you should. But it's, again, I can't force him to do anything. I hope he fixes it. Now that we're getting warmer months, I hope he fixes it. But what am I going to do? I'm not going to nag him about it. He'll either do it or he won't. Just like anything. I'm going to have to wake him up, though, because he's on top of my covers, and I need my covers. Even when it's warm, I want covers on me, even if it's not, unless it's 80 degrees, 90, 100, then I don't have to have covers on me when I'm sleeping. But other than that, I like it warm, and I want my covers on me, and he's on top of all of them. So I'm going to have to wake him up. Sorry, boobaloo. I have to wake you up because I'm going back to bed. I'll charge my batteries while I'm sleeping. Since it's light out now and lights shine, you know, sunlight shining in through the cracks and whatever, so I don't have to worry about that light of the charging, you know, the battery's charging. I'll upload these videos later on. I'm not going to do it now. So creating the video made me sleepy. That's good. I only got 4 hours sleep. I went to bed way too late, 2:30. And then I'm up at 6:30, so I'll go back to bed. Doing this made me sleepy. I am definitely going back to bed right the fuck now. I can't function on just 4 hours sleep. And why would I even try to? As I said, I don't work. I don't have any type of life. He hasn't mentioned again about meeting with his girlfriend. Perhaps she had second thoughts because what I didn't tell you guys, and again, to my really, you know, the ones who really care about me and really are into me, you know, watching me or whatnot, like TS, and I don't care that this happened. It just so happened that when he was letting me know that there had been complaints, I told you of the ridiculous, one of them so ridiculous, it's a tree. It looks like, and if he didn't know it, what does that tell you? Basically, there's an apartment building over across from us, right? There's a driveway there. Now, wouldn't you think, since it's just a little bit of land outside our door, that all of that would be ours, and then their land would start at that driveway? But no. And even so, even if it didn't, you wouldn't think they'd be so petty to care that I'm on the other side of the tree with Omar. It's a tree like this, this side, and then the other side is apparently their land. It cuts our little tiny bit of land in half, and it's really what I thought was this land, part of the land. No. And then he tells me about the dog, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Well, he happened to be talking to his girlfriend at the time, and when I heard about the tree thing, I got agitated. I'm like, oh my God, you've got to fuck up. That is so petty. And I was loud, and she heard me, of course. And I was just like, that's ridiculous, David. That is just, I didn't even understand. I'm like, what do you mean, the other side of the tree? The other side of the tree? And I'm like, I always pick up Omar's poo-poo, and the other side of the tree is their land, and they're upset that oh my God, I couldn't believe it. And I'm like, show me, I didn't even understand what was going on. So maybe she's had second thoughts about meeting me, because she experienced me being agitated, He knows me by now. He's experienced numerous times me being agitated. I was furious when I'm getting food from Vitacost or from Sun Food or whatever it was, and they can't bother to put it up. They left it halfway down the driveway or something. Didn't even put it on the porch. I was livid. I didn't even know it had arrived. I called and yelled. So he knows. He's seen me cry. He's seen me get furious. So he's used to it. But he could have friends or even his girlfriend. I don't put it past anybody be like, if she knew about me or whatnot, she might be like, oh my God, how could you even risk having her there? If he's told her, he probably hasn't, but if he has, she has anger issues. Her mother's locked up in a mental hospital. She's on psych disability herself, David. Why would you have wanted her as a roommate? I'm not saying she would say that, or any of his friends or family would say that. I'm saying it's definitely a possibility. It's human nature. They don't know me. He does. You know what I mean? It's human nature that if he's told her stuff about me, that she might be thinking, why the fuck did he want her as a roommate? Why would he want her as a roommate? But yeah, she heard me yelling. Not yelling, getting agitated. Not at him, of course, just at general. That's so petty. That is so petty. I always pick up the poo-poo. That is just so petty. I'm on the other side of the tree, and it's not that they found poo-poo there, it's just they saw me on the other side of the tree. Just right directly on the other side of the tree. And I find out that it's their land. He didn't even know it. Of course I'm going to be upset. And he chose to tell me while he was talking to her on the phone, so it's his problem that I'm going to react. Not even understanding. What do you mean? What do you mean their land is the other side of the tree? He had to go out and show me because I didn't get it. I'm like, oh my God, that's so petty. So she heard me, and she might be like, wow, she's high-strung, isn't she? I don't care. Big news flash for you guys. I don't give one flying fuck if his girlfriend likes me or not. He's my fucking roommate, okay? I don't have to get along with his family, his friends, his lovers, anything. They don't have to like me. I'm his roommate, He had his own personal reasons for wanting me here, despite my problems, despite everything. And he wanted me. He needed the money. He liked my ad. In my Craigslist ad, I put a lot of pictures of me and Omar out there. Of course, I got guys who, oh, you're beautiful. You and Omar can come live here for free. Go fuck yourself. I put a whole bunch of pictures in my ad, my Craigslist ad, of me and Omer over the years. So I had ones where I was heavier, ones where I was thin, everything. And I did that just because I wanted people to see, you know, okay, yeah, she's on psych disability, but look at all these pictures of her and her pug. She's adorable. We don't care if she's on psych disability. We'll let her come live with us and be our roommate, or, you know, if it was more than one person, or, you know. I did it to entice people because I had to put that I'm not working. At first I didn't, and then I changed my mind. I just put it. I just decided to really tell the truth. I'm not working. I'm on psych disability, which means I always can pay the rent. I have guaranteed income, you know. Because I'm not going to lie. And in the first ad that I put out there, I tweaked it after a while because I put as unemployed, and people don't want to have you as a roommate when you're unemployed. They're wondering, like, how are you going to pay the fucking rent? So I'm like, you know what, Laura, you're going to have to bite the bullet. You're going to have to tell the truth and say, yeah, I'm unemployed, but I'm on psych disability. So I did. I told the truth. And actually, I believe he responded to my first ad, but I wound up telling him I was on psych disability anyway, but he responded to the first ad I had out there before I tweaked it. He responded to the first one. I think he was drawn to me and Omar, the pictures and whatnot, but he responded to the first one where I said I was unemployed, but obviously I put I'm unemployed, but I have, you know, I have significant income. You don't have to worry, I can pay the rent, you know. But a lot of people aren't going to trust that. Yeah, he responded to my very first ad, not the one where I said I was on psych disability, because I didn't say that to the end. I actually was blowing him off because he was a guy, and while he was still periodically asking me, you know, he really wanted me, so I was completely honest with him, completely upfront. So if his friends, family don't like me or whatnot, or can't comprehend why he would even want someone as a roommate who's not working, who's on psych disability, but it's like, you know, most people wouldn't. She's too many problems. I have no desire to meet his girlfriend anyway, so I'm not. One of my friends said, have you asked him about it? No, I don't even want to meet her. I will do it as a favor to him, but I'm not going to push the issue. Why would I push the issue? Let them decide. I have no life, pretty much. I'll let them decide, and then they'll tell me when we're going to go meet for coffee or whatnot. He's busy. He works a lot. He's busy, and I don't care enough. Why would I? It's not my desire. It's his desire, her desire, for me to meet her, not mine. Not mine. So they can make it happen. I'm not going to push the issue. I'm not going to ask, nothing, because I don't care. And I'm not wrong to not care. The fact of the matter is, had this not happened, remember, I don't reveal anything personal about somebody I care about. And my mother's the exception, and I've had to, but that's something that I'm so caught up with. But I mean like a friend or something. Even my shelter friend, I didn't tell you anything personal about her, like, you know, like whether or not she's been married or has kids or family or problems. No, I didn't tell you anything like that. I told her she smokes because that affects me. I told her about her in the shelter because that's where I met her. I told you her what race she was and things, because that all ties into, you know, whether or not she really cared about me or was tolerating me, or, you know, just and liked that I was helping her out. I don't know. All I know is that I'm not revealing anything personal. You don't know anything personal about him. You don't know how old he is. You know he's around my age, so he's not like some young kid. You know he has a dog, because that affects me. You know he feeds his dog kibbles and bits, because that affects me, because Omar got into that and OD'd on it when we first moved in here, and I have to be vigilant about that. Okay? You know he smokes, because I told you he smokes, but he only smokes outside, and I would never be interested in any smoker anyway, so his girlfriend has nothing to worry about. Even if I really liked him a lot, he smokes, so it's out of the question. Okay? Even if I was attracted to him, she has nothing to worry about. The only reason you know he has a girlfriend now is because he wants me to meet her. Had he not wanted me to meet her, I never would have mentioned a thing about anything. See? Only things that affect me do I mention to you about somebody. Okay? I will never tell you anything about who he is, what he does for a living, whether or not, he's been married or has kids or anything about it. I know a lot of shit about him. I would never tell you guys ever. I would never betray him like that. Never. Okay? There's no way you could ever figure out who he is by what I've told you. No way. And that's how I want it. The only reason I've told you now about the girlfriend thing, was because he wants me to meet her, or she wants to meet me, so that affects me, so that I talk about anything that affects me. Otherwise, I don't. I don't betray people. And if you think about it, even when I've told you about my mother, that all affects me. Her disease affects me, her meeting that guy, and then reigniting my fire that I'd given up on, blah, 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 meeting her guy in the nut house, that affects me. All this crap affects me. And that's why she's fair game, It all affects me, and like I said, I'm not going to pretend my life didn't happen the way that it did, and I'm not going to keep my mouth shut about what's happened in my life, even if it involves, I don't want to hurt my mom and expose, but you know what? That's the way it goes. Her illness has played a huge part in shaping me, shaping who I am, who I've become, and that's it. I'm actually curious. I haven't even asked one of my new friends. And actually, it's someone I bet who's been following my videos a long time, but only made herself known rather recently. But I'm wondering if she ever read my essay. In order to understand me, you really need to read my college essay about what it was like for me to have a schizophrenic mother growing up. That essay's out on my website. Anyone can go to my website and read that essay. It's also, I recited out here on videos that I recently took off of private, I think, because I think I did. I'm reciting my essay, or part of it, I don't know. You're better off just reading it on my website if you go to my website. And don't take the front page seriously where Donald wrote that for me. He made the website, I didn't, Starring Alicia Roll, The Reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe. It's just a joke. It's because I can relate to her in a lot of ways. The primary way being what it was like for her to have a mother schizophrenic from the time she was very young. The time Marilyn was very young. And the stigma of that and the fear that it's going to happen to you and whatnot, okay? I can relate to how she felt. And I can relate to other things, the way she felt about things and whatnot. So, as a joke, I would say it. As a joke. Doesn't mean I believe it, okay? I don't know what I believe. I don't have any beliefs, really. My beliefs are not rigid, and they're always... Joe said that about himself. He's like, I might believe this a little bit, but, my beliefs are always changing in proportion to what I learn about the world and reality, How I feel about reality and what I believe reflects on, as different things unfold for me, different things I learn from Joe or just from life itself or whatnot, shape how I feel about reality and existence. I don't know anything. I really don't. So of course I would never be like Shirley Lee Lard and be that arrogant and be insisting that I'm the reincarnation of Marilyn Monroe and you better believe it or else, Not that I'm going to be mad at you. Stupid. She's something else. I read her fucking book, but, she's just... And people they're just treating her like, yeah, whatever. They blow her off, most people. And she doesn't like that. She gets mad. I have to laugh, sorry. But, you know, I'm sure she made a lot of money because people are curious about her and they go and buy her book like I did. I think I bought her book. I really have a feeling I did, and it's in my storage unit in LA. I have a feeling that that kind of book wasn't available at the library. I have a feeling that I purchased it. I forget what it's called, but I believe I probably purchased it. Chances are I did. You know, so, and what do you think it cost? It cost like $20-something, so, you know. She makes money off the damn book. Because she's a novelty. And she was born after Marilyn died, so she could be Marilyn's reincarnation. And she does, you know, she's blonde and pretty, so she's similar to Marilyn in that respect. And then her book was interesting. I'm not saying it wasn't interesting. I'm just saying you're not going to get anywhere in this life. You're not going to reach people by insisting that you're the reincarnation of, you know, and ordering people to believe that you're the reincarnation of a woman who was once the most famous woman in the world. It's not going to happen. So I bought her book and I read it from cover to cover carefully, and it amused me, and, you know, and then it dropped from my mind. So I think that's it. I think I'm sufficiently sleepy enough now. It's probably been like an hour. But if it's been like an hour, it's still only like 8:30, and I'll go back to bed for probably, usually I sleep about 3 hours. You know? That seems to be what happens when I go back to bed in the morning. Even when I took my nap yesterday, but I shouldn't have even needed to take a nap, seeing as I got an 8 hours sleep, but how I feel, like I said, if I feel that sleepy and I want to go to sleep, I'm not gonna force myself to stay awake. There's no reason to. There's no reason to. So, me and my weird-ass self, my weird-ass eccentric self, undeniably so. She's the loner eccentric, all cloistered up in her apartment, who wants to make people think. Think about the little weird girl, the little weird damaged girl, who's so much smarter than everyone else in her class and has nothing to do but sit there while the 4th grade teacher writes on the alphabet, writes the alphabet on the board, and little Laura sits there and thinks, oh, I don't want to be here, don't want to look at the damn board, don't want to look at the back of this kid's head, I just want to fantasize. I want to be in this 4th grade class all by myself, because I'm a friggin' little ham, and that's me. That's me, little Laura P., and I'm not going to sit here and take my daddy's shit anymore. That was an excerpt from the original, the very first tape that Donald sent to me before he'd ever met me. Most of that tape I don't remember, of course. I remember that part. Donald was brilliant. Brilliant and insightful, and he could analyze me to the T, and his tape was brilliant, and that's how he got me into his demands. That's how he lured me into his demands, and that's how he eventually nearly destroyed me. Slowly and methodically. He got me because he was the first human being to really, really think I was special and to believe in me, and, you know, and I ate it up like candy. Never again, I said. Never the fuck again. I trust nothing and nobody.